So this was my first baby quilt I ever made. My grandmother taught me how to make, and somebody asked me how small my stitches are, and here they are. And then they wanted to see the back of my quilts. When I first started, I put plain backs on so that you can see the stitching on the backs also. But this is the quilts that I did in my tutorial. And there are my stitches. And they're pretty much the same, it looks like. But this is the back. I've been using more colored backs, and you can still see the designs. Maybe not as clear, but you can still see them. This is actually a soft flannel. And I also wanted to show that I got the bee quilt finished and bound. I put the same fabric on the binding as is right here. So you can see what it looks like. Now, this one is harder to see my stitches in because it's so colorful. You can see them here more, not so much on the black because I used black thread, but right there you can see them. And the back of this quilt is so patterned and so dark. You really can't see the stitches very much. Like I have white and black thread in this one, so you can see them a little bit, but not quite as much. So I don't know if you can see the quilt, but this is the whole quilt. Now, I am working on this. I rolled it once already. It is in my quilting frame. I don't know if you can see that. The quilt that you're seeing behind me is the quilt my grandmother made us for our wedding present. So I have it hanging up. I've only used it a little bit, and then I decided to keep it and not really use it. So this is the quilt that I'm working on now. It is a polyester, and the top was given to me, and all I did was put on the borders right here. So what I'm doing is I'm quilting the borders just in a ditch. And just, quilting. You can't even see where my hand is. I'm quilting the borders in the ditch right here. But I thought quilting around each of these blocks would be easy, but the polyester is kind of slippery. And so I'm having a hard time with my needle. My needle wants to slip out. And so I decided not to quilt around the blocks. I am just going to knot them like I have here. I have knotting and a few extra pieces of thread. But I have knotted these little squares, and then I'm going to put knots in the big squares, probably 4 to 5. So that's what I'm doing here. So I don't know if you can see where I'm at here. This is where I am at. I got these done already, and I wrote it one time. I already said that, and so I guess I'm going to show you with my needles, if I can find them here. These are the needles that I use for knotting a quilt. They're embroidery needles. They have a bigger eye on them because I use embroidery thread to knot them. And when I knot a quilt, what I do is, I'm going to show you on this little block here. First, I'm going to take out the pin. And let's see here. So I have my thread already on my needle. And what you can do is measure how far apart you want them, if you want them exact. Like in these squares, I just put one in each of the centers of the squares, so it makes it easy that way. You don't have to measure. But when you're doing a bigger square and you're going to have more knots in the square, you can measure your square. Excuse me, I keep clearing my throat. And you can do it like every couple inches, which is what I try to do. So corner to corner, this is 11 inches. So the center is about right here, 5.5 to 6, right about there, right there. So I'm going to put one in the center. But what I normally do is I put one here. Well, maybe I'll do that. I'll put one on the corner. I don't know if I have enough thread. And then I'll go to the center and I'll put one. And I'll keep the same thread, like I won't cut it off. And then I'll go over here and put another one, but I don't have enough thread right now. So I'm just going to do these two. So then I take and cut the center thread so that it's two separate pieces. And then I pull them so that they're even. And then I double, put the thread around double. I tie it tight, and then I put the thread in the loop double again, and I tie it again. And if they're even, then I leave them alone. But if they're uneven at the ends, I'll trim off the little piece and make them even. So then I'll tie this one, double, and then I'll double tie it again, and then measure it. If it's too long, I'll trim it off. If one side's longer than the other, I should say. Or if the thread itself is longer. I don't measure them all exactly. See, this one is a little bit longer than the one on the side, but I don't always make them all the same. And also, this pink thread, for whatever reason, is wanting to unravel. So what I did was, I should trim that. I took and put a little knot in the end of it. I'm not sure if you can see it. I just tied a little knot at the end of it so that it doesn't unravel anymore, because it was wanting to unravel for me, and I thought, well, I'm just gonna knot it on the end and that'll help that. But for the most part, this thread is usually good but some of it, depending on where I get it from, like this one, it's the pink, it wants to unravel. So that's why I was tying knots in the end of it. This one, well, it's pretty good. It'll stay. But if you want to knot all of them, you can. Because eventually after you wash your quilt a few times, these will tend to unravel anyway or fray. I'm going to have to take my lint roller over this after I'm done because I was trimming the little ends off of it and then they stuck to the polyester. So I'll have to take my lint roller up over that and clean it up. So all right, I had another piece of thread here, some purlise. Here it is. So this is the last bit of thread from the black, and I'm going to knot it. Sometimes it takes me a couple tries to get it through here. I should use my needle threader, but I have to find it. So here we are. I have a long piece of embroidery thread, and I'm going to show you, like, okay, here I'm going to put a knot. Make sure you're going, make it through the bottom piece of fabric and bring it up through. Make sure you leave enough thread here. And then I'll come over here and do another knot. Try to get them even. Sometimes I just eyeball it, and if I'm having a rough time, I'll use my ruler. Okay, so this one is going to be a little bit long, so I'm going to cut it over here, and then I'm just going to pull it through and cut it over here. Okay, so I'm going to do the same, knot it double. Pull it tight, check the length, trim it off. Okay. Going to knot this one. You can use any colored thread that you want, like whatever matches your quilt. You can do all this in black if you want. You could put black in the pink if you like, and pink in the black, You could do white thread because this has white in it. I mean, whatever suits you. It's your quilt, like I've said before. You make it what you want. Whatever you like, that's what you put in it. So I just like to kind of blend in the knots with the fabric, but sometimes it's nice to have it stand out. So I could put the pink in the black and it would stand out more. See? I didn't have the exact pinks. It's a little bit different. So I don't know if I'm going to continue with this pink or if I'm going to try to use something different. Once you take it off of the spindle, it still looks a little bit bright compared to the rest of because this color is almost a coral pink. It's not really a pink. It matches, I guess, but it's just not quite the same pink. So I might look for a different pink. This one is more of a coral, I think. This one it's different from this one. So I will see what to do there. because I wasn't real happy with those pink colors. All right, so I need to put one more in over here. I just kind of eyeball the length of the thread. I don't always measure it because it's pretty much the same. Nobody's gonna come around measuring how long your thread is. At least I don't think so. But they all look similar in length. One might be a little bit shorter than the others, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. If you like to be exact, you can make it exact. But now these big squares, I only have 5 knots in it. And then these squares, as you can see, there's 9. So I have a piece of thread in all the little squares. So there's 9 pieces of thread. If I wanted to put, I could put 4 more in there and maybe use white or pink. I haven't gotten that far yet. So, yeah, I might just do that because it seems like it could use a few more. So let me look at that and decide what to do. And then I will keep working and you guys keep quilting and have fun doing it. I am going to stop my video here and I will see you next time. Have fun. Bye.